What's up, guys, and welcome to the Pod Square Podcast. This is the first pilot episode officially, so get ready to hear about the most interesting topics. We're going to talk about technology and how it affects the world around us. And I am your host, Roberto Moreno, and this is my boy right here, Bradley.
Hi, I'm Bradley, and this is my first time on this, podcast. Second time, because Berto forgot to record the recording mic on the first time, but that's okay.
Oh, I hate myself now so bad. It was so good too. Like, we were getting into it, and then as soon as we were talking about it more and more, I realized, wait a second, I forgot to hit record. And then, I looked at Bradley, I told him, wait, stop.
Yeah, I know. I'm over here talking, and we're talking about today's topics and everything, and is this
now? Yeah. Now I'm gonna make sure that we are okay. There it is. It's going, so we're good. All right, but then
let's get to the topic.
By the way, I will make mention of this. After every topic, we're gonna give you guys a tip.
Today's tech tip. All right, so that's what we're gonna give you.
And it's gonna be about BitLocker too. So, anyways, the topic is about artificial intelligence. It's becoming very relevant. We see it more each and every day, even though it's been done maybe around the 90s and 80s, basically. They started developing this slowly but surely. And one of the things that got our attention was an article that came out by CNBC. And they talked about this. It said, this is what AI looks like according to an AI. And this was done by IBM Research here. And if you look at the image, and by the way, we're going to show the image here, kind of like right here where Bradley's kind of at right here. It looks very interesting. What's your thought on this, Brad?
It's a very nice piece, I would say, but it kind of looks like the painting in the Sistine Chapel by Michelangelo, when it's got Adam. Then you have God coming down from above, and it's kind of giving life to Adam. And this is a sense of, you got two hands here. You got one is a more warmer color, and you got one is like kind of a cooler color. It's just interesting to see that the AI pictured himself as that, and it did have 1,000 sample images.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that it talks about, and that's interesting that he says this, because it's almost like it's wanting to communicate to us. I mean, that's what it's doing, but its topic was to draw itself, right?
Yeah, but out of the 1,000 sample images, we don't know what they look like, but still the main vocal point of this art piece that it did is two hands, and that's very, right in your face as soon as you look at it, and it kind of makes you wonder, what all sample images were there in order to get this piece. So, the red hand, the more darker, not the more darker, but the red hand, the more warmer hand, that's the one you consider us almost, would be God, because we're creating an AI.
Organic.
Yeah,
kind of.
And then the more cooler hand, that would be considered the AI itself, and Adam, or comparing it to the 16th century Michelangelo painting.
I wonder if that's how Johnny Depp felt when he was plugged into the World Wide Web.
What?
You haven't watched that movie?
No, I haven't watched it. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's called Transverse, I think. Transcendence.
I like Johnny Depp. I haven't watched it.
You need to watch that.
The movies I know are Pirates of the Caribbean. Those are quality movies right there.
That's true too. Except for one or two. But just like from that movie, you kind of see from this image, and Bradley kind of points it out very clearly. It's cold, but not cold-hearted. But yet it's longing for this. I feel like, in my opinion, like a communication to us directly. Because we're able to plug in through the terminal maybe and say a couple of phrases to this AI and talk to them or something. Yeah. But yet, here's another interesting thing. So this is not kind of new, that they're actually getting these AIs to actually start doing art. As a matter of fact, many companies like IBM and Deep Dreams and these other ones, I can't name them on the top of my head right now. I'm forgetting things.
I don't know. You're the one that looked up the articles here.
Wait. Why you say that? No, I'm playing. But anyways, the thing is, they're starting to make them do the art for them. And they sell them, and they actually do them in auctions as well. There's actually one in, I believe, in New York City that they do it here in the article. If you read about it, they have some in Europe and Germany. It's crazy how this is becoming a trend, basically.
I think it's a trend that would be welcomed in our community. It's not going to be just shrugged off. It is, there are visually interesting pieces to think about, and then wondering what, because generally when you break out down art, you have to think about what the creator intended. Like, okay,
Right.
so like, just give an easy example of like, you have a red door there. All right, maybe the artist is expressing his anger towards something or something like that. But with a computer, you have to really more dig deeper into like, okay, what is here? Like, what meaning could be behind here? Because we necessarily don't know if AI has a thought process. I mean, it has like codes and telling it to do stuff. I mean, that could be considered as thought process, but you don't know if it has like a free will thought process outside that.
Right.
But
I mean, that's why we make them, right?
yeah, yeah.
So that they can start doing this kind of thing. And, you know, people are buying this out of the market like crazy. And like I said before, you know, when you look at this image, you can make your own opinions about it, but that's sort of like our kind of like output of what we see from this image.
Yeah, I mean, it's all speculation on what the actual AI is doing, I mean, and stuff like that.
But you heard it from us here, if we got this right, and it is trying to communicate to us, and it's saying that it feels cold and dark.
Yeah, we were the first ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Pod Square, always on the latest news. And then, so...
Well, this is 2018, but other than that, we're going to look at...
Hey, you're not supposed to know that, but maybe. Right. Oh well. No, I'm playing.
Well, let's talk
They're going to see it anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about the other pieces of art that the AI have been doing. What is it? Deep Dream Generator?
So we started going on this rant, and then basically you can go to the site and you can take your image, and then it'll take another image that you like and then put it together. I think the second image you can choose whichever. Or,
it's almost like putting a filter over it, like if you would use Instagram, or like, you know, there's an app that puts like a draw filter over it. It looks like a drawing or something. It's almost like that, but in a sense, it's not, because it's now using AI to do it instead of just like slapping a filter over your regular photo or something like that.
It doesn't look that bad, okay? It's not like your Snapchat photos. It's much done more professionally, actually, and you have to sign up for them, and I think you have to do like this payment on it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Remember, you're the man that here looked up the article.
Well, yeah. No, but you know, that's when you when you look in through this web page here and look it up right here. It's called deepdreamsgenerator.com, by the way, under HTTPS. So use the secure site. Don't use a HTTP. But anyways, it says a human eye collaboration, and it has 3 sorts of styles. It's got deep style, it's got thin style, and it's got deep dream. My personal favorite is the deep dream. And you know, we're gonna look up the images first, and like it says, it's going to pull up on the screen. This is the first one right here. And
this is the one by Van Gogh, Starry Night, and everything. I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with that painting. Again, like if you took an art class in high school, or you know, seen an art image, this is one of the bigger ones that have.
This is bragging.
Hey, look, I do a little bit of art, but so, anyway.
No, his art is actually really good. You should check it out sometime. Shout out to his Instagram, anyways. But the whole point is, you know, continue on. Sorry.
And this one is called. This is the Deep Dream one that has that type of effect on it. Oh, and basically, I mean, it's taken the base layer of that image, it seems, and added, I don't know, more stuff to it from another image. You know, this one, for example, looks like little sea puppies in it. You know, it's kind of like an underwater Starry Night almost, like what you'd view underwater, like the cities and everything. It kind of looks like what maybe Atlantis would look like almost. It was something like that. And
I see race cars.
You see race cars?
I see the race cars.
Where do you see race cars?
Look, if you look right here on the right side of this image, on the lower right, you kind of see these tires going on, and it looks like a racetrack cars. You know, to me, those look like little pods that you would go in. You know, like in the little city. That's what it looks like to me. I can kind of see the cars. Yeah, right? And then you see the sea lions, the puppies.
And that's more like open sea, but like, you know, it's really weird. And too, like, I guess what you consider like the stars of Starry Night, they're actually like eyes. I mean, it's almost kind of creepy, you know, get everything looking at you.
It's very interesting, basically. It's almost like it's wanting you to interpret it in different ways. Which, that's what art is, right? One kind of interprets it in another way versus somebody else. It makes them sad, it makes them happy. And this one is really...
But you know, I want to know what the you know, thought process or programming how it knows to take this part of the image and overlay it to that part of the image. Does it just take like, you know, does it get like 2 images and overlay like a main part of it, take that out and like kind of just like crop it into some filtering? Because I mean, you can do this through like, you know, photography. You can do this type of stuff through photo editing, you know, Photoshop. I mean, this takes some time, you know, but I'm pretty sure the AI probably does it, you know, within a few minutes, and versus, you know, a human doing it would take a few hours. And you know, that also leads to, you know, with this, could you make like an AI version of Photoshop where it assists you in doing stuff. Like you want something, and then you go in there and it does it for you, so you don't have to physically do it and spend hours of doing something on there.
We're not supposed to spread our ideas over the internet.
Hey, this is...
Yeah. Well, technically, this is what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it is. But then if you got like the human AI collaboration, you know, I mean, there is artists out there who just, you know, have other people do their work for them and consider their artists. I mean, that's a whole thing in yourself of what you think about that. But then it kind of says, is it really your work or is it the AI's work? I mean, you had the idea, but the AI did it for you. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. And by the way, you know, here's some other images we're going to scroll through. You know, there's some deep and thins and
yeah, I would say the deep style is, you know, very interesting. Just the way it, you know, overlays. Like one of the paintings, it looked like watercolors to me. I mean, just the way it flowed and, you know, how the different styles. And here's like, we're looking at one picture now, it seems as if it's a woman. And
with the gears kind of.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
that's one of my favorite ones.
So they had a picture of gears and a woman. And this is more of, the picture of the woman is more of like an abstract style of it.
Too, yep.
And then you got the gears and it overlaid the gears, you know, with the woman. So like you got like, the gears are different shades and everything. So that highlights her face and then it makes it protrude out of the rest of the gears.
Yeah, and so, sorry, I just had to check the audio one more time. I'm getting superstitious about it. But yeah, that was the thing, like, you see this beautiful layout. It's not like how some people will, like, misshape it and it doesn't make it look realistic. It doesn't look like the original painting or the abstract art that they're trying to pull off here. Another one is this bald eagle, and then my favorite one is this flaming.
Oh yeah,
hummingbird.
Yeah, you got like a bird and a flower here, then you got a picture of flames, and it morphs the two together. And I mean, in it, you can kind of see, like, I guess, like this one, how maybe the system works of the AI. So you got the flower and the hummingbird in, you know, the first picture, and it seems with the flames, it's kind of taking that highlight because there's really nothing else in the other picture. The background's blurred out, you can't see it. Taking that and just got like, I guess, the highlight of, you know, the other photo again, which is the flames, and kind of like morph that into the, you know, bird. And to me, you know, this is all stuff that looks like it can be done in Photoshop. This one is like, here, go back to that one.
So are you saying, like, you can do a better one than the AI itself?
I'm saying maybe on this one, you can possibly I mean, there's a point where machines, you know, do better, humans do better.
So that's another thing. Will it get to the point where machines are better artists than the humans?
I mean, yeah, I would say to a degree, maybe, I would say possibly becomes to a point on photorealism that it could be, that, I mean, you could have, like, with the graphic capabilities of the computers and everything and creating images, it could create a photorealistic image without you not even telling just exactly the same. Because, I mean, there is some artists that do photorealism, but you can tell to some degree that it is like, oh man, hey, you know, that's not a photo, it's drawn, you know, and versus the, you know, AI doing it just be exactly the same. I mean, it could come to that point where...
Yeah, and you know, another article that was pulled out too, and it was about how artists are not fazed about this. They actually feel kind of excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing in the art community. I mean, welcome. I mean, generally most things are. I mean, it's just about, you know, expressing yourself generally now. I mean, that's what it's kind of developed into, you know. It's more of entertainment almost, you know, expression.
Right. We should only worry about it when it starts doing blood and humans in a wasteland, and then that's when we know Skynet has just begun.
Hey, I mean, it could just be, it could be expressing. What if it's depressed? What if it has feelings almost as depressed, and that's what it feels like?
Okay, but moving on, you know, because, you know, we went through the art, but then if you kind of go into this website called The Verge, you can actually pull up other articles, some new ones, up to date, about artificial intelligence. And one of the things that kind of popped out, you know, we talked about art, but, you know, they're serving in many different fields right now, especially now about one that came out in February 6th of 2019 called Gmail is now blocking 100 million extra spam messages every day with AI.
I mean, that's great. I mean, that's a good security purpose right there. I mean, it's helping you not get viruses. I mean, you know, clicking on a link that says, "Ooh, get free iPhone now," you know, you're the 100th person, you know. I mean, it's really helping with security. And, I mean, the only thing, I mean, I guess could be bad is, you know, if you get an email that's something that you signed up for and it gets put in your spam and you never get it because it just blocks it out. But
and also one of the things that I was trying to pull up as he was talking was that also President Trump actually started a executive order to actually begin some of the fundings for artificial intelligence in 5 separate departments, including for foreign international and some other things. So that's one of the things that's now kind of taking the foot in the government as well.
And I would say that, I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, as a country,
Is it a good thing?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, consider we need to.
We're not going to get political, I promise.
Yeah, we need to be like, I guess, you know, as a, in that sense of like on top of like developing AI, you know, being like maybe the first, and you know, with the government involved now, generally they'll put more money into it, pour more resources in it than companies do, and then they'll develop it to a point that we don't know about. Then that, you know, that technology becomes released to the public. I mean, that's kind of how it always is, you know. I mean, they develop something in the military, NASA develops something like that, and then they have that technology before we get it, you know. I mean,
right. And you know, it's a good thing too, because, and also could be a bad thing. We don't know. Only the future will tell us what's going to happen.
For sure.
You know, as long, like I said, if Skynet doesn't get operated in, you know, we're fine. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be okay. Another thing I was gonna pull up. Hold on, real quick.
Also, some white Berto's looking this up. I mean, AI is one of those things that's always going to be advancing. It's going to become a bigger part of our lives. I mean, you can kind of see now with like Alexa and you know, the Google Home thing. People are having it in their homes. They're using it every day.
Right.
I mean, that technology is becoming integrated, you know, with our homes. I mean, with our refrigerators. You know, it could be integrated with our toasters. I mean, you see now like they got like the smart fridges. You know, they have the AI thing with like Alexa. You know, they can order your groceries if you're low on something and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy what that's becoming to.
And one of the last things we're going to talk about too is, and then I've kind of thought about this.
This guy, I'll be honest with you, I've seen this article before, and I think this guy might have some underlying mental problems that, you know, he needs to go to a therapist about.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The reason why is because artificial intelligence could come to the point where people can start marrying them. I mean, if this guy married a hologram.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and I would not say this is like the most advanced like artificial intelligence. I mean, I think maybe the thing has like a few lines of dialogue that'll repeat to you, and everything is not like super advanced either. So, I mean,
what if it comes out tomorrow like hologram made advanced with artificial intelligence?
I mean, I don't know. No, I mean, I would find it funny if this guy ended up divorcing his AI because it talked to somebody else. I can see that happening. So
it's a nice way to say, hey, baby, I think you need an upgrade. Oh.
Okay. But
I think you should look better this way.
I mean, there's a good point is like, I guess when you would say when people, if they have a relationship with AI, I mean, because I guess to human, if you have something that starts talking to you and it seems human, then you're almost kind of developing a relationship with that. I mean, it's not necessarily maybe a physical relationship, but more of a mental relationship. Like, hey, this is my friend. I come home and talk, you know, to the AI every day. It, you know, creates conversation, you know, with me, and you just, it's kind of like a mental thing. Like you're just kind of developing. That's kind of a friendship, and it creates a bond between like human and machine, and that's, you know, it's like you know, our own creation in a sense.
It's almost like the movie Chappie, kind of talking about. Have you seen
I haven't seen Chappie.
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen
I need to watch it. I haven't
watched Chappie.
But I mean, I've heard it's a good movie.
I got you. I'm going to give you my Netflix account.
Thank you, Berto. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I mean, in another sense, if it become to a point with AI is like we start incorporating AI into things, like say if we got where we're creating androids, you know, like physical robots of, you know, people and everything, and then all of a sudden, I think that's where it would take off. People are like, whoa, you know, this looks like a real person, you know, it talks like a real person, it has the same thought process as a real person, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like a multi-million-dollar thing where people are selling, you know, AIs, people are buying them, and, you know, I can see that becoming a huge thing if technology develops that far, and, you know, it is highly possible that it could. I mean, you know, see as far as technologies come today.
Some guy actually, and you know, you bring out a good point about the androids and stuff. A guy actually last year, a couple of years ago actually, made a life-size android Scarlett Johansson.
I bet you he's pretty happy with himself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was in Australia too. I'll bring out that article, by the way, up on the screen to
I wonder how
you guys can see that.
I wonder how realistic it'll look. I mean,
it looked pretty here. I'm gonna search it up real quick.
All right.
Hold on.
That just seems crazy to me. All right. This guy must be a really big fan. If I was Scarlett Johansson, I might get a restraining order on this guy because that's kind of weird. But I mean, let's see.
That's how you spell.
Okay. He's pulling up the images right now.
Oh.
That's just images of Scarlett Johansson.
Wait, hold on. There it is, right here. There is the article, right here.
Okay.
Man creates robot that looks like exactly like Scarlett Johansson.
I mean, honestly, this does look like a stiff version of Scarlett Johansson. Like, if she's like has no muscle movement, I mean, the hands look kind of weird, and the feet. I mean, the face is really what gives away. I mean, it really does kind of look like Scarlett Johansson.
And you know what's funny too is that when you look at this image, and that actually, by the way, it was not in Australia. It was Hong Kong, China. It looks so real.
It does. It really does. I mean, besides, if you just look at it from like the neck up, you can tell that it does look kind of like a person, you know, almost. I mean, it's crazy.
I won't lie, man. That gives me the goosebumps.
I mean, that just kind of shows, though. I mean, these people are doing it now, but I mean, once it becomes more mainstream and more like realistic, then people are just gonna be like, "Oh man, it's cool. Let's go buy one," you know. And the price on these I would imagine, is going to be ridiculously expensive. You know, I mean, I can see people taking loans out on these to afford it, like a car, and just like having payments on them or something like that. They might even have a rental service, rent your own human friend for a day, I mean, or something like that.
You know, in Japan, you can actually rent a family, so...
wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, time is up. But you know what time it is.
It is today's Tech Tick time.
It is today's Tech Tick time. We just even made that up, too. Just right now.
It's great, it's great. So, we're going to talk about BitLocker today?
Yes. How do you put BitLocker on your...
You bet I got BitLocker on my flash drive. If you want to pop it in your computer, you wouldn't be able to get into it. I mean, with some time, you can maybe, but you wouldn't be able to get into it, you know, immediately.
This guy tried to go through my files on my flash drive, and I got so annoyed that I said, you know what?
That is absolutely not true.
BitLocker. But yeah, that is definitely true. You've heard it from me.
That is absolutely not true. I mean, BitLocker is just encrypts all your files on your flash drive to secure them and stop people from getting into them. Say you got, like, you know, your taxes, your social security on there. Maybe that's where, like, you know, maybe that's kind of like today's filing cabinet almost.
Private
that's what
images.
That's what a flash drive is. It's like a portable filing cabinet you can take with you. And if you have documents and you don't want other people accessing them, you know, or them getting stolen, like, I mean, people misplace flash drives all the time. I misplaced mine and I was like, where it is, but where was it? You know, it was in my pocket the entire time. But if you lose it, you don't want other people getting to those documents. And, you know, BitLocker is that way of preventing people from getting to them.
Like, here's the thing. I don't want him to start looking through the pictures of my cousin. That would be definitely weird.
What are you talking about, Berto?
My cousin. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't do that.
Berto has no family. Don't listen to him. He lives on the street.
I'm the new Bruce Wayne.
Lives in a little box. Yeah. He is a new Bruce Wayne because he doesn't have parents. I'm just kidding, Berto. I know you got your parents. Actually, it's vice versa here. But anyway.
Anyways, but here's the thing. BitLocker is not available on every operating system out there. It's actually, well, what I mean by classes. It's not going to be on Windows 10 Home Edition. It's going to be
above on every operating. I mean, is it available on Apple, or do they have something like that on Apple? Or?
I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm sponsoring Windows, okay? I'm not sponsoring Apple or Linux right now.
And this man uses Apple products.
I'm sponsoring Microsoft, okay? Oh, well, yes.
So he's not hating on Apple for sure. He's got tons of Apple products.
Especially if you guys want to invest in our, you know, podcast, go ahead. You know, Linux too, go on ahead. But anyways, today is about BitLocker, which is a Windows-based encryption device system that encrypts your whole hard drive, like Bradley eloquently put out. Ugh.
I mean, too, it's really easy to do. I mean, you just have to make sure that your file system has to be, it was an NTFS.
Yes.
Yes, that's what it has to be. It can't be in FAT32. It's only NTFS. And it's really easy to do. I mean, generally you can right-click it and format it. And, I mean, if you don't know how to do this, I mean, you can just probably YouTube it. I mean, it's probably, you know, a 5-minute YouTube video. The only thing that will take some time is actually encrypting, depending on your size. I had a 16-gigabyte flash drive, and, you know, that, I think it took around 10 minutes. So if you have a 500-gigabyte, you know, or like hard drive, or you have like, you know, terabyte flash drive, I've seen those. Those are crazy. That might take a little while to encrypt, but, I mean, you know, after it's done encrypting, your information is safe.
And another thing, too, about what's cool about this feature is that, let's just say you do have a Mac computer at home, and you got a Linux system, but you want to transfer files either way, and you already have BitLocker encrypted, or you're going to do it, you can actually put it in compatible mode, in which it will go to each individual different devices.
But yeah,
so that's a pretty good thing.
Mac will only take FAT32.
System, excuse me.
Like, you can't encrypt, you know, you can't change Mac into NTFS. It only takes a FAT32.
Exactly.
Which is unsecure. Not hating on Apple.
No. But that's it, guys. We thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Square, if you didn't hear it from anybody, you heard it first from us.
Yeah, join us next Wednesday when we're going to be talking about a topic we'll figure out soon, but it'll be good for sure.
Yes. So we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
That was pretty good.
I think so. No, that's fine. I just couldn't stop, like...